So we're talking landscape design today, and you can look back on prior videos. First we did a site survey, and then we did bubble diagrams. We're trying to walk you through the process of designing your own landscape, your own garden. Then the next step, which we'll talk about today, is to go from the bubble diagrams to real forms and real circulation and real spaces. And this is prior to a planting plan, prior to a lighting plan. Chip and I are at our new house, and this house is modeled after the Mathewson home, which was built in 1915 in the Berkeley Hills. On this step, what we would be figuring is exactly the shape of the driveway, exactly the shape of the circulation. We only have half of the circulation in here because we're leaving space so that we can build that lap pool, which is coming later. We're designing the wall, we're designing all the spaces. When we walk around, you'll see we're designing the patios off of the house and the exact location of the arbor. I don't know that you can really describe how you do it other than you try to do all the preparation to lead you into this, going from bubble diagrams to real forms and creating space, which is really what landscape design is about, is creating space. I think one thing is to try to be very straightforward. If you know where people want to park, there's not much mystery to that. We need to be in front of the house and close as we can get to that front gate. Maybe one big rectangle, you know. You ask a difficult question, how do you figure out the exact lines? Well, it's not like this is the only design that would work or look good. There's lots of designs, but what we're trying to do is put enough preparation into knowing what we want, having some rules in terms of simplicity and it being coordinated, and then kind of letting the process unfold. And I think you might be surprised what you can come up with, even if you lack some creativity. This is the closest that house could be to the road. So one of the issues when the house is set is there's a setback. So we have to set it back a certain amount. If we had our preference, we would put it much closer to the street so that we can have a more useful backyard. And by doing that, then we've got a lot of space in the front. A big part of our site analysis and of our bubble diagrams is figuring out how we can use this space productively. And we're standing right in the middle of it. So one important way to use it is we have parking where we used a really interesting rock and we embedded it into decomposed granite, and it's not cemented or anything, and so water will go through it. And then obviously the driveway, we have a sliding gate. We built a wall that has an interesting design to it. You can still see through it. You can see we have areas for Chip to look out. By having a wall, we create those spaces on the other side of the wall that can be used traditionally how a backyard would be used. And that's kind of necessary because we have such limited space and we have a big long lap pool to put in on the side. A straight line or very direct, practical lines are better than saying, well, I need to be creative here, so I'm going to have this wrap around here and have this curly Q, and you know, that's not really creativity. I don't think. I think it's good to be aware that a straight line can serve you very well. When we walk through this, you'll see there's lots of straight lines here. And that's not saying that you couldn't have a more free-form design and have it be very simple and attractive also. But we thought this house lent itself well to straight lines. The jog in this fence line corresponds with creating a usable courtyard between the house and the fence. And so if you're aware, I want to create usable courtyards, then you have a prompt that's going to prompt you to have a fence that's more than just a simple straight line. This is why it is very important to watch the first two videos. It's the information in the first two videos that are relatively easy to come up with and put on paper that make the creative process much simpler and kind of draws that creativity out of you, I think. This is an east exposure, which is nice for sitting in certain times of the day. Lots of things could go on here. We're going to have benches here mainly for seating, and also a main view out of the house straight through to the main street. The form of it is very simple and lends to the function of a simple courtyard with visual access to the street and yet still maintaining quite a bit of privacy. We're trying to simply get to the front door, so that's what's on our minds. This walkway, very simply with straight lines, goes to the front door, and this is the only pedestrian entrance to the house from the street. But it's a very simple circulation pattern, and then it leads to this courtyard, which is off of these large French doors and has an arbor. This is a north exposure. We planned this arbor, which is going to have vines on it, and you can see this wire is going to have fans and lights. If you want to see the lighting and the planting plans, that's our next step, so make sure you subscribe. In terms of the design, the shape of this would be designed now. The arbor would be at least in a plan form designed where it's going to occur, because you're putting forms to the bubbles, and so now you want to see where this arbor is going to be. The only way to do that is work on this space all at the same time. So even though you're working on circulation, a pool is got circulation too around it, so you would be setting in the pool at this time. Again, if you did your work in parts 1 and 2, you kind of know where it has to be, because we've identified that we absolutely want it 75 feet long, and there's not many places on this site that you could fit it in 75 feet long. At the same time you're doing the circulation and this patio, you're designing the pool and designing the relationship between these outdoor spaces and the pool. So that's all coming together at the same time. You know, this is a bathroom window, which has the type of window that you can't see through. But if the light is on in the bathroom and it's dark outside and you try to look through, you can see a little bit. So it's probably a good idea to do some kind of screening. We would have identified on our site analysis that we want to screen these windows. You can see what we came up with. That wouldn't have been done until the planting plan, but at least we would identify that we need to make space for plants right in front of the bathroom windows. The part of the design that we're working on right now is the circulation, which continues very simply. So all this circulation in the back would be designed now along with these spaces that we're creating. So there's little courtyards off of the master bedroom. That would be designed right now, a courtyard off of the guest bedroom. This is going to be my little miniature onsen, which is what you find in Japan. They're like mineral baths. So that would have to be identified with the circulation, because the onsen has to have access. You got to know where it's going to be. Another courtyard behind the guest house. When you design a courtyard, you probably have in mind where you're going to use things like pots and furniture. And this circulation leads to the other side of the house, where we have another courtyard area. So you're designing the space off of the sliding glass window. So that would have been identified in the site analysis. While you're doing the circulation, we know we want a better screen for the neighbors here. And one simple way to do that is with a welded wire fence and then grow vines on it. You could identify that at this stage. We've got a pizza oven. I've yet to use it, but I'm getting ready to try it, maybe on Christmas Eve. You know, it's not like everything is perfectly planned out. For a long time, I thought I was going to put this pizza oven in a different spot. I was going to put it over there next to the driveway, but it made it too difficult to drive in and out without hitting the pizza oven. So we didn't have it well planned out on the plan. If you can plan it out and have it on your plan and everybody's happy with the location, that is the way to do it. So not all parts of the design always work. We're always evaluating it as we begin to install it, and you can change things in the field. The way the fence was designed is to make it look like an extension of the architecture of the house. And so we used the board and batten, and we used the exact same plaster, which is called a mission style finish. It is an attempt to coordinate everything together, so it looks like the fence is part of the house. It gives a coordination to the whole site. As you're designing the fencing, you would be thinking about the materials, and as you're designing the circulation, you're thinking about the materials. You can see in our circulation, we have two materials, palomino colored concrete with a broom finish and a lot of score joints. And then the courtyard off of the family room, we used the same tile that's inside the house so that it looks like an extension of the house. And that's again attempting to expand the house out into the garden. So that's our third part, where we went from analyzing the site and your needs and your goals, turning that into bubble diagrams, and now into actually starting to draw the forms that your garden is going to utilize. If you liked it, please like it. We've got 2 or 3 more coming up, planting design and lighting design.